Hi, I'm Joe Chilling, mornings from 7 to 9 with Buffalo's Classic Oldies. From the 60s and 70s on the Big Whack. Joining us on the Big Whack's Buffalo on the Rise today is Jonathan McDonell from BAM Acupuncture. That is Buffalo Advanced Medical Acupuncture. How you doing?
Very good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Yeah. Thanks to BAM oil that you gave me.
I know we were talking about that. You miss it.
Yeah, it helps my shoulder every once in a while when I act up. When it acts up from an old injury, and I'm a side sleeper. You can look down at me because I'm a side sleeper, but you know.
So BAM oil, what Joe is talking about, is actually a good example of what we do at Buffalo Advanced Medical Acupuncture, and I'll tell you why. Because at Buffalo Advanced Medical Acupuncture, as you know, we combine more modern modalities with ancient acupuncture, blend them together to get ideal results. So the formulation that you use is actually based on, which is the BAM oil, which is based on a very old martial arts formula that is for traumas and injuries. And then we combine that with a more modern anti-inflammatory, which is CBD oil. We put those two together, and it works great for pain, and especially inflammatory type of pain like you're dealing with. So
and it doesn't, you know, and I don't want to, you know, name things, but the things that you got in the store, you know, to put on, you know, muscle aches and things like that, make you not only feel old but smell old. You know what I mean? When somebody walks in, they go, "Is Joe here?" You know what I mean? So it's, you know, and this kind of does the same thing, but it doesn't smell like that, and it doesn't stain things, and you know, so that's a good thing too.
Yeah, I mean, there is like it's old school medicine, right? Like every now and then I'll get a patient in and we'll use a liniment or something topical, and they're like, "Oh, this smells like the stuff my grandmother used to use," or horse liniment. Remember?
Oh, great. So you smell like a horse.
So that's the camphor and the myrrh that's in there. Those are two substances that you'll find a lot. It's like, that gives it that Bengay kind of smell. Yeah.
But there's no gold or frankincense in it, just camphor and myrrh.
Well, I don't know. I haven't found any gold yet. I haven't struck gold. We're still looking.
What are people complaining about now? What's the big thing? You know, weather's starting to change a little bit.
You're right on the money. So fall is around the corner, or fall is here, right? It's like a week away, right? And the summer's over. Even though we've had beautiful weather here, our nights are starting to get a little colder and damp, and I do think that affects people's joints. So, you know, arthritis is one of those things. It's a chronic pain condition, and unfortunately, more modern Western medicine doesn't really have any good answers for it. I mean, basically, you're faced with either like, we rip your joints out and we replace them with some metal, or you could take this medication that might help, and you know, there's side effects involved with it, and you'll have to take it for the rest of your life. Well, at Buffalo Advanced Medical Acupuncture, like we were saying at the beginning of the segment, is we're going to take some of these more traditional medicines, our acupuncture, which has been around for thousands of years. We're going to combine that with our more modern, innovative therapies, like our ATP resonance therapy works great for arthritic pain. And by combining those, we get great results for people. You know, so we have people who maybe were worried about being homebound, and now they're able to go on vacation and enjoy their lives. You know, the holidays are coming up, and they can enjoy their grandchildren and enjoy Halloween and, you know, Thanksgiving with family without having to just being constantly held back by their pain.
You know, it makes me think, you know, my daughter who's young, you know, in her mid-30s, and she has, you know, 3 kids, but one of them is a 3.5-year-old who she ends up, you know, it was great having her on her hip when she was smaller, but now that she's grown up some, and she'll say, you know, like at the end of the day, I kind of feel like I know that I've been carrying her, you know, on and off throughout the day. You know, she'll say that. So, you know, when I think of things, you know, I feel kind of achy or creaky or whatever, I think that it's age, but it can happen to anybody depending on what you do, right?
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, we do definitely like, well, and I think speaking of what you're speaking of, I think people wait a little longer than they used to have babies now, right? Like, it was more common having your teens and 20s. Now people are having in their 30s and 40s. I could speak from personal experience, like children that age are physically exhausting, right? So yeah, it does, like everything catches up to you, right? Like raising kids, you know, that wear and tear on the body. I think a lot of, you know, the factory jobs and things like that. I get a lot of patients now who had a history working in Bethlehem Steel or at the GM plants, things like that. Standing on the cold concrete floors and working with the metal for all those years. Yeah, now they're getting a lot of pain and arthritis in their joints, back pain, these chronic things that are really impacting their ability to enjoy their retirement. And that's really why we exist at Buffalo Advanced Medical Acupuncture. We want to get you back to living life that you intended to live.
So when people come in to see you for a consultation or whatever, when you actually do work, do they ever say to you, you know, do those little acupuncture needles really do anything? Because, you know, say for instance it was my shoulder. You might not be putting needles in my shoulder. And they're very small. They're not like, you know, when people think needles, I think they think sewing needles or shots or whatever. They're very small. But do you work on them besides just putting those acupuncture needles in?
Well, sure. I think acupuncture is what they think of, or what everyone thinks of when they think of Eastern medicine, right? And I think the reason for that is it's the most exotic thing that we do. But there is a lot of other complementary strategies that we would incorporate. I think the strength of Eastern medicine is really we're able to see the forest for the trees, right? Like instead of, you know, a lot of patients will come into me and they're like, I'm just a hot mess. I've got all these problems. I've been to this specialist and he doesn't know what to do with me. And that. Like, I love patients like that. The more you can describe all these little nuances to your problem, it helps me put the puzzle pieces together and really come up with the ideal strategy that's specific for you. You know?
All right, so people listening out there right now, got some aches and pains. Maybe it's back pain, maybe it's leg pain, maybe it's sciatica, whatever it might be. What's their first step?
Yeah, so it's super easy. The first thing you want to do is set up a consultation with me. You're going to call our office at 716-632-2207. You'll speak with one of our patient care coordinators. You're going to set up a consultation. Come on in. We'll talk about your problems. And I mean, the first step is just to make sure you're appropriate for what we do, right? So, and if you are, and I have a good strategy and we're on the same page, I'll spell a clear path forward to get you back to enjoying life.
Very good. Jonathan, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
For more information and answers to your questions, contact Buffalo Advanced Medical Acupuncture, 716-632-2207, or go to bamacupuncture.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by Buffalo Advanced Medical Acupuncture. Start your day with me, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays with Buffalo's classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on The Big Way.